Good morning. Happy Monday. The debate between Teresa and myself was recorded. So I had tried to record it. My recording didn't come out, but there is a recording of about 99% of it. I think she only missed a couple minutes at most of the beginning. So if you want to hear the debate, it's exactly, the debate itself is exactly the way I anticipated it would be. She brought nothing new to the table, and it was the same. She just referred to it as experts in literature, but it was just the same. It was the same article, the public health article, and it was the same Arlene case that she had brought before. So there was nothing new there, and she conceded defeat, and yay. But if you're interested, it's there. I'll try to remember to link it in the description. As far as the other topic that I want to discuss today, it is the George Floyd thing, and I'm not going to go into detail on it because honestly, I don't think that there's anybody who's debating that what the officer did was wrong. I don't know of anyone who is on the side of the officer in this. The Fourth Amendment requires the police to arrest people reasonably, and kneeling with your knee on someone's neck for 8 minutes is not reasonable. I don't know of anybody who would suggest that that's reasonable, especially when the person isn't actively resisting at that point. There are some things going on around it, though, that I do want to address quickly, so don't expect this to be in-depth discussion. Number one, I'm sure that cops are pretty used to people saying "I can't breathe," but if you can say "I can't breathe," that means that air is passing in and out of your lungs. You have to be able to exhale air in order to say "I can't breathe," and then if you're saying it repeatedly, it's a pretty good indication that you are in fact breathing. The only other choking method that I am aware of is a carotid choke, where you pinch off a vein or an artery going to the brain in the neck. Those usually, in my experience, having been choked out by them and having choked people out with them, those are pretty quick. If you actually pinch off an artery, somebody's going night-night in about 8 to 10 seconds. It's pretty fast. So I can understand why the other officers who were not in a position to observe the knee on neck or to understand its significance weren't reacting to it, and they weren't reacting to his pleas. I can understand it. I'm not justifying it. I can understand it. There's a sentiment running around that the officer should be charged and convicted like yesterday, and that is antithetical to the American system of justice. And it is most likely, if we do try to do that, most likely going to result in that officer going free. Putting pressure on a DA to charge now, before the investigation is complete, doesn't help. It really doesn't help. That you want the person to have full due process. You want them to be able to go through the entire trial, have their attorney be able give them time to present a defense, all the other fun stuff, so that when you do get a conviction, the conviction sticks. I've said it for Earl. I'll say it for the cop. I don't like either one of them, but that's the way our system works. That's what we need as a society in order to function. We need that due process of law. And finally, we do need the police. I know people don't want to say we need the police, but we do need the police. We are seeing the results of the police not enforcing things in these riots. And you can't have freedom if there aren't restrictions on it. And that sounds wrong, and I understand it, but that's the way humans and human society works. If there is not order, you can't have freedom. You can't own things if there aren't protections in place for the things you own. You can't amass wealth and amass land and amass property and goods. You can't have the freedom to enjoy them unless there is order in society. It is a necessary thing to protect the property interests of people, the property rights, your property rights, my property rights. Innocent people had their homes burned down, their apartments burned down. Those people lost their property rights, their freedom to occupy and own the spaces they lived in, and the possessions that they stored there because of the breakdown in society. We need the police. We know from experience, we know from Somalia, Mogadishu, things like that, places where society broke down and there were no police, there was no order, there were no courts to go to seek redress. That's where things go haywire. That's where you lose your rights. Sure, you can say what you want to say, I guess, unless someone takes exception to it and shoots you. You can go where you want to go unless someone takes exception to it and stomps you. You can own whatever it is you can grab and carry away with you unless someone takes it from you. We need order. We need the police in order to have freedom. There needs to be limits on others' freedoms to guarantee your maximal freedom. My freedoms need to be limited so that you have maximal freedom. Your freedoms have to be limited so I have maximal freedom. Anyway, that's all I had to say on the subject. I need to get my butt in gear. I got to go to court. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.